looking at Viking Field in Niles, but this is not pure Michigan tonight. Some Indiana invaders have come in. The Fairfield Falcons take on the Niles Vikings in an interstate battle on the 46th game of the week. How you doing, everybody? Between the Indiana Football Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, Chuck Freeby, great to have you with us on another Friday night and Saturday morning of high school football on TV 46. The Fairfield Falcons come into this game with a record of 1-2, but that record is a little bit deceiving. They knocked off a 5A team in Goshen in their opener. They lost to, at that time, the top-ranked team in 4A, and I think they had a little letdown last week against Central Noble, but Bob Miller feels that his young team is ready to take a step tonight.
I think they are, Chuck. They've got some good leadership on this team, and they talked about how they had a lot to do with what happened last week, the way they played, and didn't hang on to the football a lot, but they've got an outstanding leader in Tim Hostetler. Shetler is an outstanding player, another two-way performer, and Lantz, a quarterback, does a quality job. So they have enough people in good positions to make a difference, and I know that Bob Miller is excited about the challenge here tonight against Niles.
Well, you know, first of all, we got to score points, right? I mean, it's about scoring points and holding them defensively. We've seen early through this season with the kind of upset that we had against Goshen in week 1, we have the opportunity, and I think the talent to be a pretty good defensive team. Offensively also, but being kind of thin, we've got to be healthy to do that. We haven't had the same team on the field since the Goshen game, and it looks like we're pretty close to getting that back again. So we're excited about the opportunity that we have.
Now remember, Michigan schools started a week later than Indiana, so Niles comes in here with a record of 1-1. Joe Sassano's team still trying to get a feel for its personality, but certainly defense stirs the drink up here right now.
It does, Chuck. And, you know, he's trying very hard to make sure the kids are having a good time, which is so important these days. And Dawson Bruckner is an outstanding leader on defense, and he also plays offense. And Williams is a good player. He needs to be 100% tonight. It's kind of an interesting situation at quarterback. They've got Simpson and Lake. Simpson will start. Lake will get some time in there. They're both very proficient, and, you know, the question is which one has the hot hand tonight against Fairfield?
Well, Joe Sassano's looking forward to this interstate battle.
First of all, we evaluated, I guess it's Indiana versus Michigan is what we're hearing in the community. But we played them last year over at their place, and it was kind of a friendly game, a friendly environment, a friendly atmosphere. And so we look for just a fun matchup between Indiana and Michigan, and you know, two pretty good football teams that are looking to get back on the win.
Bo Hunt with us on the sidelines tonight. Bo, we just heard it from Joe Sassano. We've heard it from the kids all week. This interstate matchup is a big deal to the players.
Well, it can be. I mean, you look at these two teams, and it's not a conference game. It's not a playoff game. So you try to find that other edge and where you can get motivated. And it's a, you know, Michigan-Indiana game. And so they find that edge, something to get them motivated, something to get them through the week. And, you know, it's not about just getting better this week. It's about beating Michigan team. It's about beating the Indiana team. So there's some motivation there for sure.
So whichever side of the border you're on, we're glad you've joined us for this one. It's Fairfield and Niles and the Jordan Auto Group. Keys to win are next on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by Indiana Criminal Justice, IU South Bend, TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bethel College Admissions, Hawkins Water Tech, Electrical Workers Local 153, Crown Trophy, Bill's Heating, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Ruoff Home Mortgage, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th game of the week brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome back to Niles, where we get you ready for Fairfield and Niles in our 46th game of the week. Time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. We'll start with the visitors tonight. Fairfield spearheaded on offense by Michael Shetler. The 5'9" senior is the leading rusher and receiver on this team. Also a terrific linebacker on defense with a tremendous weapon that Bob Miller has discovered on offense. Defensively, they'll rely on middle linebacker Tim Hostetler, back from a knee injury, 6'1", 207 pounds. Typically a two-way player, but will be strictly defense tonight for the Falcons. The keys to win for Fairfield.
Fairfield needs to have consistency in all they do on offense and defense. Oh, wait a minute, we've got a flyover. Wonder what they had to pay for that, or is the guy just lost? Well, we'll see. I think it's, no. not her. Anyway, they got to have consistency in offense and defense tonight. They got to play with a clear mind. Don't worry about the last 2 weeks. If they want to think of anything, it's that win over Goshen, and they got to win the line of scrimmage battle. And without Tim Hostettler in there at center, that's going to be a challenge for Bob Meadows' club. He's 93-71 in his 16th season at the helm of Fairfield.
For the Niles Vikings, Tre Williams is a two-way player, moved to defensive end tonight to fill an injury void, but they'll also look for him to run the ball. 5'10", 225 pounds, and they get good leadership on the offensive and defensive lines from Dawson Bruckner. 5'10", 190 and a junior. I mentioned on defense, he's one of the top tacklers on this team. The keys to win for the Vikes.
The Niles Vikings have to play with good fundamentals. They can't make the mistakes that would let the Fairfield Falcons have a chance to score. They got to protect the perimeter, especially make them move the ball inside. They got to improve on special teams. Joe Sassano, 4-7 in his second year at Niles, has a team he thinks moving in the right direction, and they'll be moving here shortly. And here to call tonight's play-by-play action, our TV 46 Sports Director, Chuck Freeby.
Nolan Sherrick puts toe to leather, and we are underway in the state of Michigan. Niles receives the kickoff at its own 17-yard line. The Vikings come back up the field with Zane Neumann returning the kickoff. And here's the weather tonight, brought to you by Urban Swirl of Granger, an absolute chamber of commerce night once again. 64 degrees, a gentle zephyr out of the north at 8. And once again, just a few cirrus clouds overhead. Not a chance we'll see a drop of rain.
Been a lot of rain during the week. Chuck, the ground is a little bit damp, but very solid as far as the footing. I think the U.S. Open would call this extreme rough if they were playing a tournament on it.
Cole Simpson is the quarterback for Niles, and he's looking at 1st and 10 from his own 39. Split backs for the Vikes. It's Javon Ball taking the handoff, and he's bulldogged down at the line of scrimmage as Fairfield closes quickly with Austin Brandenburger. This series has only been featuring one game so far. It was played last year down at Benton, and Niles won it by a count of 35-12, but both teams have had major changes since then.
Certainly have, and Fairfield felt like they were in pretty good position early in that game, and then Niles came from behind and threw some points on the board and won it on the road, and Fairfield loved to get that one back.
Receivers split wide to the top and bottom of the screen as Simpson, the 5'9 junior, pitches to Javon Ball. Sprinter speed to the outside. He gets upended at the 45-yard line. Nice tackle that time by Tyshawn Knight. Let's meet that Niles offense. You've seen Ball run the ball, and Tre Williams led the Vikings in rushing last year. The receivers, they like to get to Reese Gardner on the outside with 3 catches this year. That offensive line, we mentioned Bruckner, but they've also got Garrett Peltz, a big 305-pound senior at guard, to help to lead the way.
Nice carry by Ball, picked up about 6 yards, and Chuck, they love to get that leverage on the outside, create a corner, and they had one that time.
3rd and 3, an interesting call here for the Vikings, who have struggled throwing the football this year. But they'll look to throw here. Simpson rolls out, gets a block, cuts it back, and might get the first down. He does, up to the midfield stripe. What a run by Cole Simpson, bobbing and weaving. He never was even and leaving, but he got enough to get the first down, sponsored by Bethel College Admission.
Pretty nifty run. He was in serious trouble in the backfield. They got good penetration from the defense, forced him to go deep. Boy, that's a good pickup by Ball there on the block.
So Simpson cuts it inside for a 5-yard gain on 3rd and 3, and it's 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. Simpson, a 3-sport athlete here at Niles. He's a member of the baseball team and also an excellent wrestler. This is Tre Williams, 5'10", 225, and a load on the outside. First down for Niles, sponsored by Bethel College Admission. Williams picks up 15 on the play.
And good leverage to the outside. Joe Sassano was preaching that to the fellas yesterday. We got to create that corner, and then we got to explode to the outside.
So 1st and 10 from the Fairfield 35. Niles with 4 straight running plays to get a couple of first downs. Jordan Brown in the game now at receiver. He's up at the top of your screen. It's Isaiah Johnson way at the bottom. But the handoff, Javon Ball, and penetration and a great tackle by Tim Hostetler, 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage. And that gives us a chance to meet that Fairfield defense, brought to you by BrightNet. Along the front, Austin Brandenburger having a very solid year, as is Cordell Hope. For the ends are solid. Hostetler and Shetler are good tacklers, but not as good as Travis Miller. And then that secondary could get tested a little bit, but they like Tyshawn Knight back there, the senior free safety.
Chuck, it's not hard to figure what you'd like to do if you're Niles, and that's to go outside, because the 2 best players, the 2 best tacklers for Fairfield are in that middle, in Hostetler and Shetler.
2nd down and 12. And flags thrown and whistles blown, and that's going to give us a chance to meet our officiating crew. As Jerry Dobbins, our referee, shows it's a false start on Niles. Jerry joined tonight by Aaron Lieto, Terry Myers, Anthony Saviano, and Brian Wild. So that'll set us up with a 2nd and 17. And actually, Anthony Saviano, I'm sorry, is the referee.
Hard to recognize him, Chuck. He's looking so good, isn't he?
You say he's lost a lot of weight.
That's my security guy at Notre Dame women's basketball. I'm a little nervous.
2nd and 17. Simpson on play action. Under pressure, he's going to run it again. And he's going to pick up some nice yardage. Simpson down to the 31-yard line. Pickup of about 11 on the play. So Cole Simpson showing some mobility in the pocket. Hostetler made the tackle again. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions.
Cordell Hoffer kind of missing us. Well, didn't miss an assignment, missed the ball carrier. I'm not sure if he thought maybe he had pitched it.
And then he ran right over Cooper Abramson.
16 yards and 2 carries now for Simpson.
Sets up Niles with a 3rd and 6. The opening possession of the ball game. The Vikings have had the ball for 4 minutes and 15 seconds, but can they cash it in for points? And more whistles as the play gets underway. And that's a delay of game on Niles. So a 5-yard penalty, and boy, a big difference between 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 11.
Second penalty of the night against the Vikings. Folks, Wings Etc. in Niles is a full-service restaurant offering award-winning jumbo wings, smoked baby back ribs, char-grilled burgers, and so much more. This sports-themed environment is the perfect place to watch NFL and college football, and they promise that you'll be treated better than family. Watch the next game and enjoy great eats at Wings Etc. in Niles. They fed our crew tonight. Did a terrific job.
Simpson just 2 of 9 passing this year, but from the shotgun, he'll look to unload it deep. And there's contact down there, but no interference, as Jordan Brown, the intended receiver, ran right up the back of Connor Kitson. And so no flag. If there was any interference down here, it might have been offensive, as you'll get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions.
Pretty well thrown ball. There's a little push-off on the defender.
Maybe more than a little, but the ball was so far overthrown that I think the officials smartly waved that one off. So 4th and 10 from the 36.
Well, they possessed the ball a long time to start this ball game.
But this has been a problem for the Vikings this year, turning possessions into points. Simpson with time, airs it out, and it's incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver, Isaiah Johnson. So Fairfield will get the ball when we come back. No score, 7:05 to go in the first. You're watching high school football on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute, who say, whoa, don't text and drive. Fairfield has the ball for the first time tonight at its own 36-yard line. Zac Lantz is the quarterback of this Falcon team. That's Michael Shetler in motion, but the handoff, Connor Kitson, and he has a nice hole up the middle where he runs for 9 yards. Kitson, a 5'11 senior, just behind Shetler in the rushing totals this year. In fact, let's meet this Fairfield offense brought to us by BrightNet. We've told you all about the running backs. In terms of receivers, Cordell Hofer leads the barrage there. He's had 10 catches this year. They'll throw to Caleb Rodriguez, the tight end. Offensive line, still a work in progress, but they've got some seniors up front. In fact, 4 of them. Tommy Thaxton is the lone junior in the group. They give him a first down on the play. It's sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. And a flag thrown as this one gets underway. And I believe this is going to, well, it's the head linesman making the call. And Fairfield clapping their hands, so perhaps somebody was in the neutral zone.
Offside on the Vikings.
Wow. That's the 3rd penalty on Niles already, and it puts the ball into Viking territory at the 49-yard line.
3 5-yarders, but those are the ones that disrupt what you're trying to do defensively in a first down.
Kitson off the right side this time with blockers, and Kitson tried to hurdle tacklers, came up a yard short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 as we take a look at the Niles defense and see that Tre Williams has been moved to defensive end this week to take over for the injured Tyson Custard. Among the linebacking crew, both Arriaga and Bruckner are very solid. Secondary could get tested a little bit, although Javon Ball, the sophomore, has sparkled back there this year at cornerback.
Free down here, Chuck, and 2nd and 1. Do you get the first down? Do you take a shot?
I think they will just give it to Mr. Kitson because that's worked pretty well tonight. And Connor Kitson's 3rd straight carry results in a 10-yard pickup and another Fairfield first down, brought to you by Battery Tech of Millersburg.
24 yards on 3 carries for Kitson. And you know, Chuck, when they use Kitson as much as they do on offense, it really preserves a Shetler, for example, a guy who's going both ways. So they use Shetler in motion, draw a lot of attention. You got to respect him as well.
I think you'd almost be tempted here if you're Bob Miller to just keep giving it to Kitson until Niles proves that they can stop it. Justin Beachy, the center, has really been firing off the ball tonight. They'll pitch to Michael Shetler this time, and Shetler couldn't get around the outside. He gets taken down by Tre Williams, the defensive end, after a pickup of only 2. It's 2nd and 8. We mentioned Williams moving to defensive end tonight. That perhaps throws off Fairfield a little bit in their scouting look.
Pretty good surge there, and Shetler was cut down after just a couple of yards.
See the clock in the bottom right corner of your Ruoff Home Mortgage scoreboard. 2nd and 8. It's Kitson up the middle again, and Kitson keeping that low center of gravity going forward, picks up 7 yards and sets up a 3rd and 1. Kitson had 70 yards rushing last week in the loss to Central Noble.
I'm not sure, Chuck, we'll get a chance to look at this again, but it almost looked like looked like the top of his head hit the ground, and instead of going down, he just used it as leverage to get himself back up. Watch Kitson. He goes down right here. Let's see. Keep going. Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't touch his head.
Meanwhile, back to live action. It's Kitson off the right side. Nowhere to go. Marcel Cutler, the defensive tackle, slams him down at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 1, and pretty easy decision right here for Bob Miller. He doesn't have a kicker that's going to boot it that far, and so he'll go for it here on 4th down.
Don't forget, Lance is a pretty good athlete, too. He's got a little bit of size about him.
6 feet, 175 pounds at the quarterback position. Kitson up the middle, got the first down. It's sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. Nice push by that side of the Fairfield offensive line. Caleb Shively, the guard, an honor roll student and a wrestler, moved his man out of the way, gave Kitson some room to get 3 yards in the first down.
Kitson's got 33 yards on his first 5 carries tonight.
Both of these teams with lengthy possessions to start the game.
Moving that clock right along.
1st and 10 from the 23 of Niles. Sherrick in motion, Kitson going to the ground. Garrett Peltz, the 5'9" nose tackle, comes in and makes the stop a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And you'll get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions.
Good penetration, good awareness there, and just wrap him up. The big guy pulls him down, no problem.
Pelt stayed lower and got that guard going backwards that time.
Pretty good popping going on that line. We talked about how important it would be to control the line of scrimmage here tonight.
Cooper Abramson checks into the game at a slot position here for Fairfield. We have not seen Lantz throw it yet. That will change here. Lantz fires, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Kitson coming out of the backfield. That's a play they worked on extensively at practice the other day, but Kitson unable to make the catch. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a world-class metal finishing company specializing in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. 58 years as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Reach us at info@iftworldwide.com.
Joe Sassano calling the defenses tonight for Niles because the regular defensive coordinator, Jerry Schultz, recovering from surgery yesterday. Lantz gives it on an end around to Tyshawn Knight. Knight lowers his head, gets up to the 16-yard line. He's about 2.5 yards short of the first down. And another 4th down for Fairfield to try to convert.
Right, needed 9, picked up about 6 yards.
Here's another look from Bethel College admissions. And a nice job playing off the block by Dayton Smith that time to trip up the runner. 10 left on the play clock as Falcons break the huddle.
11th play of the drive.
Shetler in motion, Kitson on the counter, tripped over his own lineman, didn't get there. Niles comes up with a big stop on 4th down and holds Fairfield here, and Kitson is slow to get up. We'll keep an eye on him, and we'll let you know how he's doing when we come back. 1:54 to go in the first. No score on 46. Edition of the 46 game of the week brought to you by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 16. Minute 54 to go here in the first. No score. And another whistle as the play gets underway with a false start called on Niles.
And Lake goes in at quarterback for Niles, Chuck. We saw them kind of changing them about evenly in practice during the week. And so a different cadence in there, a little different tone to the signal caller, and 5-yard penalty.
So it is 1st and 15 for Niles. But it is Cole Simpson in the huddle right now at quarterback.
Simpson is in there. I'm sorry. Thought I saw number 20. It's number 10.
Tre Williams, the only back next to him. And I think another false start. Michael Shetler was showing blitz and got the attention of one of those Niles linemen. 5 penalties now on Niles here in the first quarter.
All for 5 yards. Folks, you're interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport? Join the new Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka, Beacon Sports Performance. They offer youth, high school, and adult performance training. The coaching staff at Beacon Sports Performance will push you and ensure you perform the movements with the proper form. Visit beaconhealthandfitness.org today.
And the timeout for Niles, sponsored by the Jordan Auto Group. Well, we talked before the game about this being an interstate rivalry. There have not been that many games this year between Indiana and Michigan schools, but the Michigan schools have dominated so far. They lead in the series between the two states this year 4-1. The only Indiana win came courtesy of the Penn Kingsmen, who beat Birmingham Brother Rice last week.
That was a good win for the Kingsmen. They're playing with a little more confidence these days. Don't worry too much about Corey Yeoman and the Kingsmen. They'll get things worked out just fine.
Good sized band here at Niles. It is Hawaiian night for the student body, so they're all fired up as we make our first foray into the city of Four Flags. And you look at Bob Miller over on the other side. He was shocked to learn this week that he is now the Dean of Elkhart County Coaches. And by a far piece, Miller in his 16th season at Fairfield with 93 wins. The nearest coach to him in Elkhart County is Tom Wagaman at Northridge, who's been there 5 years.
Wow. And he was a little shocked to learn that, but Tim Dawson's been gone for a few years, and he was the dean at one time.
Cole Simpson and the Vikings looking at 1st and 20 from back at their own 6. They got to be a little careful here. Fairfield showing blitz. They're coming. Simpson ducks under it and has room to run. Simpson slides down. Bob mentioned the rain that we had earlier in the day, and it might have dampened the turf there. It looked like one of Bob's wedges. He took out a pretty good divot, but he picked up 8.
Pretty good run. Looked like he could get a little bit more, but he kind of lost his footing out there. Folks, during the cooler months, make sure your equipment's ready to go when you are. Battery Tech in Millersburg is the area's premier provider of battery sales and service. They have batteries for your automobile, farm equipment, snowmobiles, ATVs, and nearly anything else you want to start this fall. Battery Tech in Millersburg.
2nd and 12. Simpson in the pocket, fires a bullet off the hand of the intended receiver, Newman, who only went after it with one hand.
Pretty well thrown ball. It was close. 0 for 3 passing tonight are the Vikings. Fairfield 0 for 1.
So now that leaves Niles with a 3rd and 12. Minute 4 left here in the first quarter. Jordan Brown brings the play in from the sideline. Joe Sassano having a chat with Newman on the sideline and an encouraging tap on the helmet. Simpson again with time, lobs it out there, and it's intercepted on a beautiful play by Lantz.
Wow.
Oh, the Fairfield cornerback read that ball beautifully and made a leaping pick at the 37. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College.
That's a pair of hands right there. Holy cow.
Stepped right in front of Jordan Brown, and Lantz, whose job on offense is to not throw interceptions, did not return the favor. He might get thrown out of the Union.
Well, you know, Chuck, they're probably going to be in a punting situation anyway. He might have got the ball back to about midfield. As it is, they're giving it up at the 37.
First turnover of the game forced by the Fairfield defense, and it's Shetler in motion, trying to get to the outside. Got a block from Tyshawn Knight, cuts it inside, and goes down at the 18-yard line. Pickup of 19 on the play. First down sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg.
Fairfield moving the ball pretty well on the ground. They've got 59 yards so far here in the first quarter.
Boy, Tyshawn Knight had a beautiful kickoff block on the outside to create some more room for Shetler. Waning seconds of period number 1. Sherrick in motion, stops and goes inside, and Dayton Smith and Javon Morris combine on the tackle for a loss of 2 on the play. Smith got down around the legs, and then Morris finished him off up top. So Sherrick on the carry loses 2, and we'll see if Fairfield decides to run another play here in the first quarter. They might get it off. Lantz wants to throw out in the flat. Has his receiver, Cooper Abramson. Abramson still on his feet, battles to the 10, and that'll end the first quarter of play in Niles. The offenses move the ball up and down the field, but had nothing to show for it. It's a 0-0 ball game as we go to the second on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Bethel College Admissions, equipping for lifelong service. We're equipped for sideline reports thanks to our friends at Bill's Heating. Bo Hunt down on the sidelines. And Bo, what has stood out to you about this first quarter of play tonight?
Well, I think the adjustments that both teams are making on defense, you know, they're starting to sustain a drive there with Fairfield especially. They were sustaining a drive. Niles was able to really adjust on defense and stop that run up the middle and really contain on the outside. You know, it's getting ready to start the second quarter here, and we had heard some complaining on the other side, and the refs started coming back, and the lights actually just came on just as that second quarter was ending. So hopefully maybe that will calm down a little bit as well, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Bo. Anything stand out about the first quarter numbers, Bob?
Well, just the consistency, which we talked about being so important. Fairfield had the ball thrown 36. They took it deep into Niles territory, unable to convert on a 4th down. Time of possession just about even through the first quarter, as were the numbers. The big number that Niles has to be concerned about is that penalty number. 25 yards and 5 penalties.
3rd and 1 from the 10. Lantz hands it off up the middle, and not much running room there. It'll be awfully close to the 1st down, as Connor Kitson was there on the carry. And they're going to spot this ball up at the 8-yard line. And Tony Saviano says, let's bring the chains out and take a look at this one.
I needed about 2, about what he got. We'll see. OA Construction Services is the place to call for all your construction needs, whether it's light commercial, new construction, or remodeling. Call Gavin Troyer at OA Construction Services in New Paris, Indiana. OA Construction is a proud supporter of the Fairfield Falcons.
And by the length of a football, it's a 1st and goal for Fairfield at the Niles 8-yard line. Falcons got the ball on an interception in Niles territory at the 37. We'll see if this Viking defense, which had a big 4th down stop on the first possession of the game, can come up with a goal line stand here. Kitson, the lone back behind quarterback Zac Lantz. And whistles blown and flags thrown, and a false start on Fairfield. First of the night on the Falcons.
The first 5-yarder against the Falcons. Folks, BrightNet in downtown New Paris offers you everything you'll need to navigate the internet, whether you need a high-speed connection, a new computer, or service on your existing computer. BrightNet can fix your computer or speed up your browsing. BrightNet in downtown New Paris.
Abramson brings the play in from the sidelines for this Fairfield team, which beat Goshen in the opener 19-0. That opened a lot of eyes down in Benton. And then lost to Northwood, and then the surprise was the loss to Central Noble last week. Garrett Peltz greets Connor Kitson rather rudely right there. Back at the 14-yard line, loss of 1 on the play. That's Peltz's 2nd tackle for loss tonight.
Peltz is a big fella, but he moves really well. I was watching him on the offensive side the other day, and gets downfield, throws blocks, and he wrapped him up right there.
So the bespectacled nose tackle comes up with a big play there, and it's 2nd and goal from the 14. Lantz this time with an empty backfield. Shetler in motion. He'll take the pitch. Blockers in front, and a nice play defensively by Isaac Arriaga to come over and stop Shetler at the 10-yard line. Arriaga, a 5'10 senior, definitely one of the leaders on this team. Came into the game with 10 tackles on the year.
4-yard gain for Shetler. He's at 25 yards, 35 so far for Kitson.
Arriaga said during the week he was really keen on the tackles for Fairfield. Felt like that they would really show him where plays were going to go. And that time, he was absolutely right. He followed that pulling tackle and came right over to make the stop. Now it's Shetler trying a halfback pass to the end zone and overthrew everybody. The interception attempt made well beyond the end zone. It'll be 4th and goal from the 10. That's Shetler's 5th pass attempt this season. So that's a play that Bob Miller likes to use quite a bit.
Well, any points in this first half are going to look mighty big. Both teams have possessed the ball, moved it a little bit, but so far, zeros on the scoreboard.
Let's see if Zac Lantz, who has been a pretty accurate passer so far this year, completing almost 60% of his passes, can come up with a big one here. He drops back in the pocket, throws for the end zone, and it's incomplete. The receiver could not get any separation away from Caden Cates. The Niles defense holds, and they'll take over at their own 10-yard line.
Both coaches got to feel good about their defenses. They've answered big. in this first half. Folks, football season means fall is here. What better time to do those fall projects you put off all summer? RPM Supply is a residential and commercial building supply company located in New Paris. They carry Anderson and Sunrise windows, Certainteed and Heartland vinyl siding, exterior doors, decking, and much more. RPM Supply located in New Paris and serving all of northern Indiana. I don't think they'd mind if people came down from Niles.
No, not at all. Cole Simpson, nope, new quarterback in there now. That's Braden Lake, and he hands it off to Javon Ball, and Ball down the sidelines for Niles, first down to the 34-yard line. So there's the new quarterback we were anticipating. Comes in on the third series of the game, and right away hands it off to Ball for a gain of 24. So check it out again, courtesy of Bethel College Admissions. Great cutback by Ball. He's only a sophomore, but last year as a freshman, he was a state qualifier in the Michigan High School Track and Field Championships in the 400 meters. And like you saw the shifty feet.
Like the way he had the ball in the left arm, too. Good running form that time, and a good surge by the Niles offense.
Skylar Farmer joins Ball in the backfield, but it's Ball trying to take the pitch around the end and find some running room out there. Hostetler slams him down after a pickup of 7. Ball came into the game as the leading ground gainer this year for Niles. He had only had 8 carries, but he has 110 yards rushing coming in, and you can see why early on.
He's got 35 yards in the ball game tonight. Done that on 5 carries, averaging 7.
2nd and 3. Let's see if Joe Sassano tries to switch it up a little bit. He already does. He puts Ball out in the slot. Lake in the shotgun. And they'll give it to Skylar Farmer, and he buries his head down and picks up about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 1. So Farmer, who had the most carries of any Niles running back coming into the game with 25 on the year. And this kid, kind of a wild child. He's a wrestler, but he likes to drive motocross bikes and do some hunting as well.
Pretty good pickup right there. Again, just short of the first down. And Chuck, we've had some big downs in this first half. A lot of 3rd down and 4th downs. And defensive answers have been the consistent thing that we've seen here tonight.
3rd and 1. Fairfield really stacking the line of scrimmage. Lake trying a quarterback sneak, and he uses that big frame to go forward for 3 yards and a first down. It's sponsored by Bethel College Admissions. Lake, the bigger of the 2 quarterbacks at 6'1", 185, and size did matter there.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, and I guess I'm a little surprised when you look at 2 athletes that can perform like they can. They're 2 quarterbacks, Simpson and Lake. You'd think if Lake wasn't that quarterback, you might have him somewhere else. But he's a sophomore, he's learning the system, and he's being patient. And Joe Sassano likes the good upside that he has, and imagine to have both these guys back again next year.
1st and 10 at the 46. Lake lobs it out, and there's the catch. Isaiah Johnson takes it down to the Fairfield 31. Johnson with his 3rd grab of the year, another state qualifier in the sprints, and he found some room on the outside for a nice pickup down to the 32. A 22-yard pickup. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College. He was wide open.
Well thrown ball.
Lake is certainly the better passer of the 2 quarterbacks. I don't think you can make any argument there. In fact, he threw for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns in their opening night win over Kalamazoo Lloyd Norks. It's Ball on a counter play. Nice hole and a good recovery that time by Michael Shetler as he makes the ankle tackle after a gain of 4.
Mark your calendar now for Battery Tech's 10th anniversary sale. Everything will be marked down 10% in honor of Battery Tech's 10 years of serving Michiana with battery-related needs. Door prizes, refreshments, burgers, brats, and great deals will be in abundance at Battery Tech's 10th anniversary sale, November 24th and 25th. We'll see you then.
0-0 game midway through the 2nd. 2nd and 6. Farmer got a block from Ball, but not enough. And a host of white jerseys led by Cordell Hofer are there to bring him down. Hofer, a terrific three-sport athlete at Fairfield. He's on the basketball team where he's becoming a budding force on the inside for Troy Beachy's sectional championship squad, and he's also a long jumper.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 9, but Chuck, I got a feeling we're in 4-down territory for both the teams when they get around the 30-yard line.
Reese Gardner, way to the right of Braden Lake. 4 receivers in the pattern. And Gardner was overthrown. Lantz with his 2nd interception of the night. And Zac Lantz didn't have to work nearly as hard for that one. He just had to stand in one place.
He got in the hands of the receiver, but flipped up in the air, and Lantz did a nice job. Just pull it down.
Lake just gunned it way over the head of Gardner, and Lantz, perhaps a little surprised, then bobbled it and quickly brought down on the play back at the 26-yard line. So there you see Zac with 2 picks tonight. He's had more interceptions than he's had completions.
Fairfield with 6:04 to go. They're in their own territory at the 26, but have some time.
You know, normally for a quarterback, that's a bad stat, but when you consider that the interceptions he's getting as a defensive back, that's all right. Now a carry of about 5 or 6 yards that time by Tyshawn Knight, and it'll make it 2nd and 4 for Fairfield. So Knight becoming very active in the ground game for the Falcons.
Double R Grocery in Millersburg carries a full line of groceries. They have fresh sliced meat and cheese, bulk food, dairy, and snacks for school lunches. And when you shop on Saturday morning, they serve coffee and rolls starting at 6 a.m. Hurry, though, they go fast. Double R Grocery in Millersburg on State Road 13, just north of town.
Connor Kitson was effective on the first drive of the game. He was a little banged up in that first drive, and he gets hit hard as he goes up the middle here. What a thud by Dawson Bruckner, the middle linebacker, who came up and went head-to-head, almost literally, with Kitson. You'll get another look here courtesy of Bethel College admissions.
Picked up a little.
That was head-to-head. Got to be careful about that these days, especially.
Pretty good pop going on right there.
3rd and 1 for the Falcons. They'll bring just about everybody tight to the formation. And a flag thrown and a false start on Fairfield. And boy, that's a big penalty on the Falcons. These 2 teams tonight have been their own worst enemy.
That is the 7th 5-yard penalty in this ball game.
Well, a timeout sponsored by Assurance Property Management and Realty. Bob Miller says that's 2 times you guys have halted one of my drives. He's not happy. We'll see if he's any better when we come back. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you in part by Ruoff Home Mortgage. A great name to know when you need a mortgage. Bob Miller, no happier when we came back.
Well, he'd like to see his team get a couple of first downs, at least threaten to get into scoring position. But I'm impressed with both teams' defenses, Chuck. And usually they say early in the season defenses are playing better, and I think both have improved since week 1 and 2.
So Zac Lantz, 2-year starter at quarterback in a passing situation here, looks to throw a screen to Connor Kitson, but read well by the Niles defense. Dayton Smith had him around the ankles. Plenty of people came in to help. Loss on the play, 4th down in a punting situation for Fairfield. First time we've seen either punter tonight. Cordell Hofer is a good one. Averages 41 yards a kick.
Lantz now 2 out of 3 passing, but for 2 total yards after that 8-yard loss.
Johnson and Ball go deep for Niles. And it goes between the 2 of them. Ball retrieves it at his 30, runs all the way back to the 25, but he's got a wall. Ball up the sidelines. And a flag comes in from behind the play at about the 35, but it's still a heck of a return by Javon Ball. We'll see what the flag is all about.
Wound up being about a 42-yard punt with the rollout.
And about a 36-yard return, but a holding call against Niles. will push it backwards from the 35. We'll see if we can pick it up on the Bethel College replay. It will happen towards the end of the play. Ball read the play well, got a nice wall.
There it is right there.
But when the jersey got pulled out from Lantz, that's what the trailing official saw. And so that's 10-yard penalty against Niles.
Well, at least it's their first 10-yard penalty. Still pretty good field position with enough time, almost 4 minutes to go.
Braden Lake in for his second series at quarterback. Lake, a three-sport athlete, baseball and basketball. And he'll hand off in the backfield. Tre Williams giving free pony rides to the kids as he goes 10 yards for a Niles first down, sponsored by Bethel College Admissions. 5'10", 225. I don't blame anybody for not wanting to really get in front.
Boy, he got just about a foot away from that. Now they're going to mark it as first down, so give him 10 yards on the play.
Nice run by Williams, who comes out, has a chat with his head coach, Joe Sassano. Joe, a longtime assistant at Penn, and then went and coached at LaSalle, Peru in Illinois for 6 years before coming back to the area. Javon Ball, nice cut, but it went right into Michael Shetler, who stops him for a loss of 1. Shetler, a 3-year starter on this Falcon defense, and you could see the experience pay off there.
At the corner of US 6 and State Road 15 in New Paris is a store that is really convenient. The 6 and 15 convenience store opens Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. and they stay open until 10 p.m. Now that's convenient. Whether you need fuel for your vehicle, food or snacks for yourself, the 6 and 15 convenience store in New Paris has what you need to keep going.
So Niles now looking at a 2nd and 11. Here's Williams trying to get to the outside. Hostetler couldn't get him. Williams picking up a head of steam and going up to the 28-yard line. Zac Lantz was finally able to knock him asunder. And it'll be a 3rd and 3 for the Vikings.
34 yards tonight so far for Williams on just 3 carries, 38 yards for Ball. Simpson has 24 yards and Lake 3.
2:15 and counting on the Ruoff Home Mortgage scoreboard.
98 yards on the ground so far.
Farmer
Niles.
trying to get around the left corner and can't do it. Good pursuit that time by Fairfield. Travis Miller, the little 5'8" outside linebacker who leads this team in tackles. I talked to him during practice this week. I said, how does a 5'8" guy lead a team in tackles? He says, nobody knows how feisty I am.
That's right. He gets there in a hurry with a little bit of an attitude. Watch it again here on our replay. You see him good leverage, doesn't allow a corner to exist, and then gets good help from his defensive guys who come up. Folks, Assurance Property Management Realty is a full-service real estate office representing buyers, sellers, and investment property owners. Their goal is to give clients the ultimate buying, selling, and property management experience by providing pleasant, professional, and honest service. Call Shelley Tucker at Assurance Property Management and Realty. That number is 574-320-3300.
A reminder, next Friday night, there's more high school football on TV 46 as we'll go down to Bo's hometown and see Don Bungie Field and the old Northern State Conference rivals who are now in the NIC. New Prairie and Bremen will collide. You'll see it Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
Welty & Sons in New Paris can handle all your well drilling needs. They work on commercial as well as residential wells. When you don't have water, call Welty & Sons Well Drilling in New Paris. That number is 831-2538.
On 4th down, Lake wants to throw. Cordell Hofer puts pressure on. Lake still on his feet, spinning. Did he get the first down? He appears to be short. And he is. Did not make it to the 25. The Fairfield defense holds. And boy, this has been a first half where defenses have come up big on 4th down. Here's another look courtesy of Bethel College Admissions.
Lake did a good job just to get close. Play broke down. Good tackle by Shetler.
Well, this is the kind of defensive struggle we expected. Fairfield is only scoring 10 points a game. Niles at 17. But let's see if Bob Miller kind of opens it up a little bit here in the final minute 45 of the first half.
26-yard line heading out.
Kitson, the lone back behind Zac Lantz. Lantz wants to throw. Fires, and it's incomplete. Caden Cates tried to make the interception. Shetler was a little bit behind him, but Lantz was thrown into double coverage.
Trent Hostetler is an insurance agent with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Goshen. His mission is to provide a service for current and future clients with honesty and integrity. Trent is a proud Falcon supporter and wants to give a shout out to his son Tim. Call Trent Hostetler for all your insurance needs. That number is 534-2611, 534-2611.
It's second down and 10. Lantz tucks it under, but only gets about 2 on the scramble. Dayton Smith there to make the stop, and a timeout will be taken by Fairfield. It's sponsored by Assurance Property Management and Realty.
Well, Chuck, we look at the numbers at halftime. We're going to have to look at those 2 interceptions that stopped Niles' drives. No interceptions for Fairfield, and we haven't had any fumbles in the ball game. Not a turnover through the handoff process, but boy, there's some good popping going on down there. Folks, Ruoff Home Mortgage is proud of our hometown teams and proud to be a part of the community. When you're ready to buy a home or need to refinance your existing mortgage loan, be sure to stop by one of our offices in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, or go online at ruoff.com. We've got an office right here in Niles, Michigan.
Well, we'll take you around the water cooler thanks to our friends at Hawkins Water Tech. What a matchup down in Plymouth tonight. Number 10 Northridge taking on number 7 Plymouth in Northern Lakes action. Dominating defenses, we've seen that be the story tonight. And in Northern Indiana, 4 of the top 10 defenses are from teams in our viewing area. And a Stevensville showdown. We're up in Michigan. Let's talk a little Michigan football. Lakeshore and Portage Central, they're both undefeated so far this year. And they're going head-to-head in a big smack showdown tonight.
Well, there's been a lot of good football played early in the season. And again, some of those teams that have 0-3 records, you don't want to play them. There's some pretty good 0-3 teams in the area.
Cooper Abramson on the pitch sweep carry, but he only picked up about 2 yards there. And now Niles will use a timeout to preserve some time for its possession with 1:24 to go here in the first half. The Niles timeout sponsored by the Jordan Auto Group.
Bill's Heating has been keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. You can relax knowing your family's comfort is their top priority. And Bill's Heating was voted best of the best by readers of the Goshen News. Call Bill's Heating 574-533-2079. That's 533-2079. Boy, those cold temperatures around the way. We had a little taste the last couple of nights, partner.
I'm told there might be a few visitors in the area this weekend for a college football weekend. Well, if it's college football you want, we've got it at 3:30 in the afternoon Saturday on Harvest 103.1. The Indiana Hoosiers, off an impressive first half in the opener against Ohio State, go out to Charlottesville and take on the Virginia Cavaliers, featuring former Penn offensive lineman Ben Knutson. So it's IU and Virginia Saturday at 3:30. On your home for Indiana football, Harvest 103.1 WHME. Cordell Hofer is on the punt. Javon Ball nearly took one to the house the last time, and he stands back at his own 40, waiting for the kick. Hofer kicks it away and way out of bounds, but we have a flag on the play, so hold everything.
Both coaches have used a lot of their lineups here in the first half.
Niles clapping the hands. It's a holding call against Fairfield. And considering the ball went out of bounds at the 50, I think Joe Sassano will take it right there, but we'll see.
Yeah, you can't put time back on the clock, that's for sure. Chuck, we've had a lot of big stops by the defenses here tonight, and you know what that indicates? People saying, whoa. Indiana Criminal Justice Institute reminds you to drive sober or get pulled over.
So Niles sending the offense onto the field, but the officials are marking that ball back at the 50-yard line. So Niles is about 10 yards in front of where the ball is supposed to be.
Well, Again, you can't put time back on the clock, so he'll take it around midfield with 1:17 left to go.
First and 10 Vikings.
Braden Lake remains in the game at quarterback. He'll hand off to Tre Williams. Williams bottled up at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tim Hostetler again on the tackle. That time he had help from Brock Baker. Only a pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
We get under a minute to go.
Niles with only 1 timeout remaining. Here's Ball trying to cut and had nowhere to go. Michael Shetler there waiting for him again. Niles in a hurry-up offense, trying to get as many plays as they can off here. But they're also looking at a 3rd and 10. Lake to throw, lobs it over the middle. It's dropped by Javon Ball. Ball had it in his hands but couldn't hold on as Tyshawn Knight was there along with Caleb Rodriguez. 4th down and probably punting time for the Vikings.
TCU's Financial Empowerment Program can help your students develop a game plan for their financial future. With TCU's easy-to-use online tools, students will learn how to save and to spend. Let TCU help them get to the top of their game by visiting tcunet.com/empower. TCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Arriaga's punt taken by Tyshawn Knight at the 17. Knight has a wall. Look out. Good block. Arriaga fought it off, and Knight goes out of bounds at the Niles 32. What a return. But only 8.1 seconds remain here in the first half. Here's another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions. Very close to a block in the back right there. And then Knight got sprung loose, and Arriaga, the punter, did a great job of fighting off a block and coming over to make contact.
About 40 yards on the return.
So 1st and 10 from the 32. Fairfield would probably have to pick up at least 20 yards, and there's a flinch and make it 25.
Wow. Nits and gnats, but they've hurt both teams, these short penalties.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 37. Let's see if Lantz tries a Hail Mary here or they try to just pick up some yardage for the 1st down. Lantz fires over the middle. It's incomplete. No, it's caught. Holy cow, did Tyshawn Knight make the catch down there? He did. Take another look at this on the Bethel College admissions replay.
The reaction of the defense was such that you thought, well,
and
he didn't
Knight,
catch it, but he did.
Yeah, grabbed it right down around the knees. So a 27-yard pickup will set it up for a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. And only 3.2 seconds remain in the half. The 1st down, sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. The timeout taken by Assurus Property Management and Realty.
Still saying 3.2 seconds to go.
3.2 seconds is exactly what's left here in the first half.
There was 8 seconds ago when they ran that play, and it seemed like it. I think the timekeeper might have thought it was incomplete and stopped the clock.
That could be.
Not that that could happen on the home field.
So Fairfield will talk it over, trying to get some points on the scoreboard here in the first half. A 0-0 game. I can tell you, Bob and I have been working together for 13 years, 14 years now. Yep. We have never had a scoreless first half in any of the games we've done.
And if you had that, you'd say, well, because both teams didn't play well. Both defenses have played really well in this first half. Big play here.
So Lantz has time, lobs it for the end zone. Hofer couldn't hang on, broken up by Javon Ball, who had a monster first half, and the half comes to an end. The Niles defense was pressed a couple of times in that first half, but they came up big. And the Vikings go to the locker room knotted up 0-0. You'll get another look at that last play, courtesy of Bethel College Admissions. Hofer was able to get his hands on it, but ball went down to separate him from the ball. And let's go down to the field for a Bills Heating sideline report. Bo Hunt is with Bob Miller.
Bob, back and forth, man, that whole first half right there. Just a defensive battle, but yet some penalties as well.
Nice defensive play on both sides. Everybody's playing pretty hard. We've had our opportunities. We got to finish drives when we get down here.
Any adjustments second half?
Not really. I think we're doing all right. We got some inside run things that we got to clean up a little bit, but other than that, honestly, we've moved the ball really well, passing and running the ball. We've just got to, again, finish those drives out.
Bob, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Bo. What a first half of defense. 2 interceptions by Zac Lantz. Big plays by Javon Ball. 0-0. Halftime report coming up on 46.
Welcome back to Niles High School, home of the Vikings, as we get a chance to honor our student athletes of the week here at halftime, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. And our student athletes of the week this week, Tim Hostetler is with us from Fairfield High School. And no, I'm not the student athlete of the week. We do want to honor Devin Tomlinson, though, from Niles High School. Devin not able to be here for the interview, but we'll talk about him in just a couple of minutes. But Tim, first of all, congratulations on what you're doing. #1 in your class. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
What does it take to get that done? I mean, you're involved in not only football, but golf, and you're a busy guy on campus, involved in musicals and things like that. Very talented young man. But you really have to be disciplined, don't you, about your time management?
Oh, yeah. It takes a lot of time management, like you said. You just got to work hard. It's all about working hard.
Talk about what's ahead for you. What do you want to study in college?
I want to go into biomedical engineering and be a biomedical engineer, design prosthetics.
Have you chosen a place yet?
I'm looking at IUPUI right now. #1 choice right now.
You like to play football there?
I don't think I'll have much time to play football there, but I'm not sure if they have a football team or not. I haven't really looked.
You're involved in some of the theater productions at school, and you're a quality singer in that group. And talk about what that's like, having that experience.
It's a great experience. Involved in show choir there and the dance captain there. And first year was kind of a step out in the uncomfortable zone, but really grew from that. It was really fun.
That's great. Get a total experience at a school like Fairfield. They really embrace that, don't they?
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of people who do a lot of different activities, and so it's really fun.
Well, it's been great to meet you. We wish you all the best of luck in college and your future.
Thank you. Great to meet you, too.
All right. Tim is from Fairfield High School. We mentioned that Devin Tomlinson is our student athlete from Niles High School. He's involved in cross country and track. He's also a golfer, which I really like. He's an outstanding student, wants to study nuclear science when he gets to college. He's not sure exactly where he wants to go, but he wants to run in college. And we certainly wish him all the best as well, and we congratulate him on his commitment to his academics and his athletic skills in cross country and track. And that's going to do it for our halftime feature with our student athletes. We want to thank Tim Hostetler as well from Fairfield High School. Our feature brought to you by TCU. They remind you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. We're back with halftime stats and highlights in just a moment. You're watching the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by our friends at Crown Trophy, who are nationally known and locally owned. The Niles Marching Band finishing up their halftime show as Niles and Fairfield have battled to a scoreless tie in the first half. And let's show you how it got to be this way. Here in the city of Four Flags, Braden Lake came on in the second quarter and found Isaiah Johnson for a nice strike, but the next pass that Lake would throw was over the receiver's head and into the waiting arms of Zac Lantz, who had 2 interceptions in the first half. Fairfield were trying to get some things done on the ground, but Dawson Bruckner and the Niles defense were up to the task there. So what about the special teams? Could they create a big play? Very late in the first half, Tyshawn Knight takes the punt back at his own 18-yard line, dodges a couple tacklers, finds a wall on the left side, set Fairfield up for a chance to go into the end zone, but on the final play of the first half, Cordell Hofer separated from the ball by Javon Ball, and it's 0-0, and the score is even. What about the stats?
Well, the numbers are pretty even as well, Chuck. 120 total yards for Niles, 101 for Fairfield. Fairfield with 4 first downs, Niles had 5. Penalties were a problem for Niles. He had 6 for 35 yards. Only one of them was a major penalty, but still nuisance penalties. And they had the 2 turnovers. Now, time of possession favored Niles by a couple of minutes, but nullified by the turnovers and the penalties. And so we've got ourselves an even ball game. And dare I say, the offenses haven't really gotten on track as much as maybe they would want to, but I give credit to the defense. I think both teams showed up ready to play tonight.
A beautiful sky in the city of Four Flags tonight. Apple Festival time is coming. Hopefully some points are too. Nothing at the half. You're watching high school football on TV 46. This edition of the 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Hawkins WaterTech. We know H2O. Nothing ball game between Fairfield and Niles. So as we go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report, Bo Hunt, the obvious adjustment you have to make is on offense, but what adjustments will these two teams make?
Well, I think some of the biggest things are the penalties and some of those mental errors that they're making. You know, Niles, on the other hand, had 2 interceptions that they threw as well, so maybe a little bit better control of the ball and not turning the ball over in those situations. But both teams was able to drive the ball a little bit, but they weren't able to sustain the drives because of just some mental errors with the penalties, the turnovers, and things of that nature. So I think that's some of the biggest things working into the second half, some of the adjustments that coaches probably talked to the both teams that were about the mental aspect of the game and not making those mental mistakes. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Bill. Mauricio Aguirre gets ready to tee it up for Niles as we get ready to start the second half. The Vikings in blue, Fairfield in white.
Chuck, it'll be interesting to see if Niles stays with Lake at quarterback or Simpson gets back in there. We'll see what happens on their first possession. But right now the ball will belong to Fairfield, and here to call the second half of what's turned out to be a pretty interesting ball game, a partner, Chuck Freeby.
Tyshawn Knight waits back deep. Aguirre with a high spinner. It'll be taken by one of the up men at the 21-yard line. Shetler ran through a hole to the 43, and Michael Shetler having a nice all-around game once again tonight for Fairfield. Gives the Falcons outstanding field position for their first possession of the second half.
Pretty nice guy to have as one of your up men. He caught that ball and headed right up the field, north and south runner.
Pretty good hands for a golfer. Yeah, Shetler's a golfer, all Northeast Corner Conference last year.
Well, you know, you got to get the ball out of the hole, Chuck.
I think he had his glove on.
I'd like to get it in the hole once in a while, but.
1st and 10 from the 44. Connor Kitson. Nope, it's Shetler on the end around, and Shetler hung on to the football and went up for about a 6-yard gain that time. Remember, Shetler came in as the leading ground gainer on the year for the Falcons, and he gets 6 on that one.
Fairfield goes over the 100-yard mark in rushing. That carry.
So the midfield stripe the place for Zac Lantz, the two-sport athlete at Fairfield. Not only is he the quarterback on the football team, he's got some daring in him. He's a pole vaulter and made it to the regional last year. And he looks to throw here on second down, finds Shetler. Nice move to get around one tackler, and he gets the first down to the 39-yard line. It's a first down sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg, and Fairfield really showcasing the talents of Shetler here in the start of the second half.
40 yards passing now in the ball game for Lantz, 4 out of 6.
Bethel College replay, and look how Shetler shed the tackler that time before Dawson Bruckner brought him down.
Bruckner's a player, isn't he? Good leader on this team as well.
Had a solid first half. Kitson up the middle on a quick hitter. Fairfield had some success with that play early in the game. Niles seems to have solved it a little bit better as Javon Morris makes the stop that time after a pickup of 5.
Chuck, that play looked an awful lot like what we see from New Prairie. They get a lot of people in a closed-in area, and all of a sudden somebody sneaks out of there with the football.
And they really force defenses to stack the line, hoping that once you get into that second level, the ball carrier can make some people miss. It's on the sweep this time, and it's Shetler up to the 30-yard line. He'll be a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Shetler now with 34 yards, 38 for Kitson. 16 yards for Knight. Lantz has only carried the ball once for a couple of yards.
Shetler was the top offensive weapon a week ago in the loss to Central Noble. He had 151 yards of total offense in that game. It's 3rd and 1. And it's Kitson up the middle for the first down. He was hit by Bruckner and brought down, but not until he moves the chain, sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. And Fairfield with a solid opening drive here, but moving the ball hasn't been the problem for the Falcons. Scoring has been.
Yeah, to get into these 3rd and 4th down short situations, they haven't been able to convert. But hey, Kitson, oh my, there's a pop in the noggin.
See, that's a little bit of a problem. The officials are not going to like that when they go back and see that on film. Here's Lantz looking to throw, tucks it under and staggers for a couple of yards that time up to the 26-yard line. And the Niles tackler a little slow to get up, but it's Tre Williams and he appears to be okay.
Gain of a couple of yards on the play for Lantz. Wings Etc. Niles is a full-service restaurant offering award-winning jumbo wings, smoked baby back ribs, char-grilled burgers, and so much more. This sports-themed environment is the perfect place to watch NFL and college football, and they promise that you'll be treated better than family. Watch the next game and enjoy great eats at Wings Etc. in Niles. Great job feeding our crew tonight.
Kitson on a counter play, and it was read perfectly by Cutler. Marcel Cutler and Tre Williams get in there to make the stop. And it'll be a 3rd and long for Fairfield. You get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions. And Cutler fought through a double team to make that tackle.
Boy, Kitson spin move didn't have any effect. That's good tackling. Way to wrap up.
Cutler, 5'9", 200-pound senior. And did a beautiful job on the defensive line that time. Justin Beachy, the center, confirming the snap count with his quarterback, Lantz. Lantz wants to throw. Fires downfield, and it's incomplete. Beautiful coverage that time by the Niles secondary. Breaking up the pass that time was Terrace Frick.
When Lantz got laid out as he threw that ball.
Frick might have gotten to the receiver, Caleb Rodriguez, just a second too quick, but no flag thrown. It'll be 4th and 9.
And I don't know if we have a shot of the quarterback, but boy, Lantz took a hit as he released that football.
Lantz favoring his right knee a little bit as he brings the team up to the line of scrimmage. Fourth and 9, Lantz in trouble. Down he goes. He threw it out of bounds. That'll be intentional grounding and a sack for Niles on 4th down.
Big call defensively by Joe Sassano, who's got the responsibility on both sides tonight. And that was a great call, great blitz, and Lantz just had no chance.
Well, here's the previous play, Bob, and you mentioned the fact that Lantz really got laid out on this play. Dayton Smith hit him after he let go of the football. In fact, he got sandwiched there. And then on this play, you could see that he had limited mobility, and Skylar Farmer was able to chase him down for the sack. And Lantz certainly looks hobbled on the other side of the field for Fairfield.
That's a loss of down play as well.
So Tony Saviano checking with the rest of his officiating crew as to where they will spot this ball. I think it's going to be back where the flag was thrown, which is where the sack would have been at the 39-yard line. Here's the last play. Farmer coming in on a blitz. Read this well. And Lantz just throws this ball up for grabs, but by that time, well, if it were the NFL, they would have said he was in the grasp.
Yeah, that's right.
As it was, Niles takes over at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10. Javon Ball, who had a nice first half rushing the football, gets spun around right there and picks up 6. Ball very quick, but he's not very big, 5'7", 150 pounds, and it's tough for him to keep going once there's contact.
Pretty good field position, again, considering that Fairfield had moved the ball into Niles territory. The teams are coming up big.
Pickup of 6 on the play. They'll call it 2nd and 3. Ball dropped in the backfield. Williams tried to pounce on it. Did he get there?
I think he was the only one that knew it was on the ground.
Fairfield players pointing, but the official signaling 3rd down, so Williams was able to get on top of it before the Falcons could. Here's another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions. The handoff never got into the belly of Williams.
Loss of a yard on the play.
And he got to it just seconds before Austin Brandenburger was there. 3rd and 5 for Niles. Cole Simpson in at quarterback, a flag thrown on the play. Perhaps somebody from Fairfield lined up in the neutral zone. They did. And that should give Niles a 1st down.
I believe you're right, partner. 20 yards and penalties now for Fairfield. Folks, the teams in this game are working toward a great finish, and so is the team from Imagineering Finishing Technologies. Partners with industries including aerospace, automotive, military and defense, medical and precision machining. At IFT, quality is a way of life.
Penalties have been huge in this game tonight. 1st down sponsored by our friends at TCU. Niles in Fairfield territory at the 47. Simpson hands off, and Trayvon Williams tripped up for a loss of 2. Shetler having a magnificent game at linebacker.
Just couldn't get started, but Shetler, a sure tackler.
Watching him fire right through the gap there and go right across the bow of Tre Williams to knock him to the turf.
Loss of a yard on that play.
Shetler came into the game with 2 tackles for loss on the season. He's had at least that many here tonight. 2nd and 11. Let's see if they give it the ball here. They do on a misdirection. Ball squirts through that hole. Boy, does he have just a darting 2nd step, and he gets to the 42-yard line. It's not so much the 1st step with Javon Ball, Bob, that I see. It's when he makes that cutback and just explodes through the hole.
You mentioned his size before, Chuck, and that allows him to be able to stop, change direction very quickly. He's not carrying a lot of momentum with a lot of weight and a lot of size, so he's very, very dangerously quick out there.
3rd and a long 4 for Niles. Isaiah Johnson split wide to the top of your screen. Fairfield coming on a blitz. Simpson rolls away from pressure, chucks it down the field, and it is incomplete. Threw it just a little bit behind the receiver, Johnson. Defending on the play was Tre Williams, a freshman, and the younger brother of Zac Lantz, and he kind of took his cornerback spot while Zac tries to recover from that injury.
You know, Simpson's on the night now, 0 for 5 with an interception. I don't know if the ball was tipped. Almost got to the receiver. Good defense there by Fairfield.
4th down. Niles will line up in punt formation here, but Fairfield putting 10 at the line of scrimmage just in case. Arriaga's kick will go and roll to the 5. Knight bobbles it and now weaves his way up to the 14-yard line. So a 37-yard punt, a 9-yard return, and with 4:25 to go in the 3rd, it remains a pitcher's duel. 0-0 between Fairfield and Niles on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. On 1st and 10, Fairfield with the football. Michael Shetler is knocked out of bounds at the 21-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play for the Fairfield slot back.
Shetler now with 40 yards rushing. 41 for Kitson, and Knight with 12 yards rushing tonight. Folks interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport? Join the new Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka, Beacon Sports Performance. They offer youth, high school, and adult performance training. The coaching staff at Beacon Sports Performance will push you and ensure that you perform the movements with the proper form. Visit beaconhealthandfitness.org today.
Kitson takes the handoff up the middle and gets the first down for Fairfield up to the 28-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play for the Falcon tailback, who had 5 100-yard games in his career coming into this one.
Took it from the 21 out to the 28-yard line. Gain of 7 and a first down.
We talked earlier about Javon Ball being a state qualifier in Michigan in track and field. So too is Connor Kitson. He is a state qualifier in the hurdles. Lantz back out on the field after shaking off that leg injury. It's a counter play, and Shetler couldn't make the cut and goes down. Waiting for him right there was Isaac Arriaga.
Loss of a couple of yards on the play. Tough to turn the corner. He couldn't get good footing that time. Folks, during the cooler months, make sure your equipment is ready to go when you are. Battery Tech in Millersburg, Indiana is the area's premier provider of battery sales and service. They have batteries for your automobile, farm equipment, snowmobiles, ATVs, and nearly anything else you want to start this fall. Battery Tech in Millersburg.
2nd and 12. Let's see if after that last series where Lantz got a little dinged up, they want to throw. No, they're going to try to run with Tyshawn Knight, and Niles has seen that play enough tonight. Dayton Smith gets there to the outside. Boy, this Niles defense, between defensive coordinator Jerry Schultz and the work Joe Sassano and the rest of the assistants are doing, they've been well prepared for Fairfield. They knew Fairfield was going to try to attack the perimeter, and they have defended it well.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. Takes Knight down to 7+ yards on the night.
3rd and 18. Lantz tonight throwing the football 4 out of 7 for 40 yards. He looks to throw here. Runs out of time and will have to take the sack. A loss of 1 on the play. A bevy of Vikings there that time, including Tre Williams and Javon Morris.
Well, the positive there, Chuck, he didn't throw it up for grabs. That could have been a turnover maybe at his own 40. Now they get a chance to punt it maybe out past midfield. But, boy, he didn't have much time back there. And every time they've had that long passing situation, Niles is sending somebody.
Dawson Bruckner was the first one to get there. Hofer gets the kick out of there just in time.
Good kick.
Isaiah Johnson drops the football and pounces on it at the 42-yard line. And that's where Niles will take over. In the battle of field position, it's been Vikings here in the second half.
Pretty good punt. Got down to the 42 and mishandled there, so no return.
Now you see another quarterback coming in for Niles as they switch up again. So Braden Lake, the sophomore, will get the call this drive from his own 42-yard line. A 0-0 game with 1:49 to go in the third quarter.
Time slipping by in a hurry.
Kind of like the traffic on 17th Street here in Niles. Lake hands off. Skylar Farmer stood up at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Tim Hostetler was there. You saw that interview with Hostetler at halftime. Boy, what an impressive young man.
Really is, and he's just so busy. You know, song and dance guy. I mean, he's been in some of the musicals. We were talking about his involvement in that, and very talented young man. And just having, you know, when you get into a high school, wherever you're at, just get in there and take a big bite out of the 4 years you're there and do a lot of things. Get really involved, and he's done that well.
Wants a career in biomedical engineering.
Well, who wouldn't?
Like that's going to go anywhere. Here's Lake looking to throw. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, and down he goes. It's the Falcons' turn to get the sack. Austin Brandenburger and Travis Miller were there to divvy that one up. and it'll be 3rd and long.
Loss of 7 yards on the play. OA Construction Services is the place to call for all your construction needs, whether it's light commercial, new construction, or remodeling. Call Gavin Troyer at OA Construction Services in New Paris, Indiana. OA Construction, a proud supporter of Fairfield Athletics.
Waning seconds of period number 3. Lake over the middle, has a man open and overthrew Javon Ball. Caleb Rodriguez was playing center field for Fairfield and nearly came up with the interception. It'll be 4th down and punting time for Isaac Arriaga.
1 out of 4 for Lake on the night. You know, that last play, Chuck, when he got tackled for the 7-yard loss, might have had a talking to from Joe Sassano at halftime. Don't throw the ball up for grabs. If you've got to, just take it down and then we'll worry about it. But didn't make the turnover.
Tyshawn Knight has proven to be a very dangerous man on punt returns tonight. We'll see if he can get loose here. Arriaga with an end over end. Knight barely batted it down, then tried to pick it up. Well, once you're down, you're down. And he'll be ruled down at the 35-yard line. So a couple of players having problems fielding punts tonight. Johnson for Niles, Knight for Fairfield. The Falcons will get one more possession here in the 3rd quarter with 14.6 seconds left.
BrightNet in downtown New Paris sells and troubleshoots home and business networks and computers. When you have questions, the professionals at BrightNet are there to answer your questions in a language we can all understand. BrightNet in downtown New Paris, Indiana.
Here's Lantz under center. Hand off to Kitson. Connor Kitson stood up at the line of scrimmage. Won't go anywhere, and that's the way the 3rd quarter will end here at Viking Field in Niles. It has been a pointless effort to this point. The defenses are dominant in this one tonight, whether it's Skylar Palmer or Michael Shetler. Nothing ball game after 3. No, it's not the Cubs, it's Niles and Fairfield on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. They also sponsor our sideline reports. Bo Hunt, what advice are you going to give these 2 offensive coordinators tonight?
We'll see you on Tuesday next week. It'll still be 0-0 at that time. Hey, just look for a big play here in the 4th quarter. Look for one of the teams maybe to open up a little bit, maybe some type of a halfback pass or a throwback or something, or maybe a reverse. So I haven't quite seen either one of these teams do anything close to that yet. So maybe here in the 4th quarter they might take a little bit of a chance, guys.
Zac Lantz at quarterback for Fairfield has been banged around a little bit tonight. He comes onto the field to start the 4th quarter with a 2nd and 9. The Falcons send one receiver way out to the side, and they give it off to Michael Shetler on the end around. Shetler pinballing off people, and he has the 1st down up to the 46-yard line. It's sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg, and Shetler has been the most effective weapon in the 2nd half for Fairfield.
And they can use some effective weapons.
You get another look at it, courtesy of our friends at Bethel College, and Shetler showing some good leg drive as he just absolutely carried tacklers that time, including big Tre Williams.
49 yards now for Shetler, 48 yards for Kitson.
It's the handoff to Kitson off the right side. He bounces off tacklers. Arriaga finally wrestles him down after a pickup of about 3. Well, wrestling, a very popular sport here at Niles. They've won 4 consecutive conference titles on the mats, and so when you say somebody wrestled somebody down here, you're likely to get a crowd.
I'm impressed with both defenses. Again, Kitson had a nice rush, got about 4 yards, looked like he was going to spin and maybe get some more, and they said no.
2nd and 6. They slip it to Shetler on the end around, and he picks up the 1st down. That jet sweep has worked very well for him. Up to the 42-yard line. Another 1st down sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg.
Shetler now with 55 yards rushing.
So 10:53 on the clock. Clock stops as they set the chains on the far side. It's Kitson up the middle. Big surge that time by the offensive line. And then the scrum, and Kitson able to get about 6. Good sportsmanship on both sides. Players helping one another up out of that pile.
A lot of respect for these two teams. You know, Bo Hunt brought up that could somebody make a big play and win this game, but well, I tell you what, it has been 4 or 5 yards, a couple of 20-yard plays for each team in the ball game. But I'm impressed with the preparedness of both these defenses.
Scoreboard says 2nd and 10. It's actually 2nd and 4. It's Shetler again on the end around, and Shetler has another first down, sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. So it's the inside-outside combination. Kitson is Mr. Inside, Shetler is Mr. Outside.
Football season means fall is here. What better time to do those fall projects you put off all summer? RPM Supply is a residential and commercial building supply company located in New Paris, Indiana. They carry Anderson and Sunrise windows, CertainTeed and Heartland vinyl siding, exterior doors, decking, and much more. RPM Supply, located in New Paris and serving all of northern Indiana.
From the 31, 1st and 10. Tyshawn Knight, and a flag comes in. And it looks like it could be a holding penalty of some sort against Fairfield.
First time in a while we've seen a hanky out there.
So Tony Saviano indicates the hold on the Falcons. And we've seen drives stall out because of penalties tonight. This could be another one.
30 yards and penalties for Fairfield now, 35 for Niles. Hey, want to give a shout out to Joe Sassano Sr. I'm sure Joey's watching the ball game tonight. Joe, hoping all the best for you, buddy. Got to be proud of your son Joe and the work he's been coaching quite a while as well.
Well, Joe Sassano Jr., 55 years old. He was at Penn for 12 years. Then he went to LaSalle, Peru in Illinois for 6. This is his 2nd at Niles. And Senior was a football coach during his time as well, and then went to work at Notre Dame. Here's Zac Lantz overthrowing Shetler in the flat. It'll be 2nd and 20. In fact, Joe Sassano Jr. says one time at school, Dad brought the Harlem Globetrotters over, and he was a pretty popular kid that day.
That's right. Joe did a lot of the booking of events at Notre Dame's Joyce Center. Folks, mark your calendar now for Battery Tech's 10th anniversary sale. Everything will be marked down 10% in honor of Battery Tech's 10 years of serving Michiana with battery-related needs. Door prizes, refreshments, burgers, brats, and great deals will be in abundance at Battery Tech's 10th anniversary sale, November 24th and 25th. We'll see you then.
2nd and 23. Lantz looks to throw. It's a screen, and it's thrown and completed over to the 40-yard line. Shetler with a diving catch over there, but it was only good for about 3 or 4 yards, and it'll be 3rd and about 19.
5 out of 9 on the night now for 43 yards for Lantz. Got to believe they're in 4-down territory check. Need about 10 yards twice.
9:10 to go in regulation. Yes, there is overtime in high school football. And if we get to that situation, we'll let you know how that works. Lantz again under pressure and just threw it out there. There was nobody there, and that's intentional grounding. Dawson Bruckner was the first one there. Lantz is going to try to plead his case, but to no avail.
Called on that twice tonight. They're not interceptions, but just about as damaging.
It's a loss of down penalty. It's as good as a sack. So intentional grounding back at the 47. You'll get another look courtesy of Bethel College. And as Bruckner is twirling Lantz around, he's just trying to preserve yardage, but there's nobody really out that way.
Niles was way ahead in the category for penalties in the first half, but now 50 yards in penalties against Fairfield in this ball game. 35 for Niles, and now a whistle as they will talk things over. Tony Saviano heading over to talk to one of his linesmen. Gives us a chance to tell you about Double R Grocery in Millersburg. They carry a full line of groceries. They have fresh sliced meat and cheese, bulk food, dairy, and snacks for school lunches. When you shop on Saturday mornings, they serve coffee and rolls starting at 6 a.m., but you gotta hurry. They go fast. Double R Grocery in Millersburg on State Road 13, just north of town.
4th and 38. Kicking time for Cordell Hofer. And Hofer with an end-over-end kick that Johnson will take it as 25. Isaiah Johnson gets a block, makes a cut, still on his feet. Isaiah Johnson to the 35. And taken down hard at the 41-yard line. Zac Lantz says, that's enough of this running around stuff. So Niles takes over with 8:44 to go in regulation. Nothing ball game. Can the Vikings finally get some offense going here on 46? This edition of the 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. 1st and 10 from its own 41 for Niles. Cole Simpson at quarterback. Carries the ball for only about a yard or two. The big defensive tackle for Fairfield, Tommy Thaxton, 5'11", 298, and a junior, comes over and makes the stop. Thaxton has been playing tonight with a little bit of a shoulder problem, but it didn't affect him there.
26 yards tonight of 4 carries for Simpson. Lake -2 on 3 carries, so you have one quarterback that is a threat to run and one might be a better passer. See what Niles does here if they go with one quarterback the entire drive.
2nd and 9. Simpson pitches to Javon Ball, and like a heat-seeking missile, Tim Hostetler is there. He read it faster than Evelyn Woods. You'll get another look courtesy of Bethel College.
Loss of a couple, well, a loss of about 5 yards on the play.
They'll take it back to the 39-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 12. Neither offense able to generate any points here tonight. Makes you wonder if there might be a defensive touchdown to win this.
I'll tell you what, big plays on both sides.
Simpson fires, wide open ball. Javon Ball turns his man around, still on his feet. Down to the 17. 44 yards on the pickup for the little speedster. Simpson put it on the money.
His first completion of the night.
Ball ran a nice seam route, hung on to the football, got away from Caleb Rodriguez, and then finally went down from Zac Lantz at the 17. Niles crowd is fired up. 7 minutes and counting to go in regulation. Simpson will hand it off. Cutting inside on the run that time, down to the 12-yard line, is a new running back, Isaac Arriaga, his first carry of the night.
Getting some fresh legs in there, partner.
Not the first time that Arriaga has carried it this year. That's his 8th carry of the season. So Arriaga carries for 5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 5. Simpson encouraging his team as he brings them to the line of scrimmage. It's Arriaga again, and this time he gets spun around and hit hard, but he keeps his feet and goes down to the 10-yard line. That's a heck of a run. Finally, Brock Baker brought him down, but he was like a little pinball that time, bouncing off people, and it'll set up a 3rd and about 2 or 3.
And you're worried when that happens that he could get popped and maybe lose the ball, but gotta keep that ball tucked away there, son. And he did.
Simpson actually took the brunt of the first hit.
He's reaching out the ball, maybe trying to get more yardage, but son, hang on to that football.
Third, and we'll call it 3. Just inside the 10-yard line. Williams, the lone back next to Simpson. It's Simpson on a quarterback keeper, and he did not get the first down. Taken down by Thaxton after a pickup of 2. It'll be 4th down, and Niles, will they go for it, or will they send the field goal unit out? Here comes the field goal team. Mauricio Aguirre is the field goal kicker for Niles. He is perfect in PATs this year, 4 out of 4, but he has not attempted a field goal this season. They'll spot it down at the 15. This will be a 25-yard field goal attempt.
He could use a holder.
Yeah, he has no holder, so Joe Sassano has to burn a timeout here. It's sponsored by Jordan Auto Group. Aguirre put the tee down, turned around, and there was nobody there. So the holder will get out there during the timeout. You come back, 4:41 to go. 0-0 game on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for 27 years. Well, during the timeout, Bob, Joe Sassano summoned his offense back to the field. And I think the holder snafu may have made him change his mind on this call.
Well, he's going to put it on his guys, I think, and just say, look, watch the kicker now. He stands up and he's kind of missing something. We need a holder.
So instead, they send Braden Lake, the sophomore, on the field with 2 running backs, Arriaga and Williams, and on 4th and 3, Niles has decided to go for it. Movement along the line of scrimmage. I think it might have been Fairfield. Offsides on the Falcons. It'll be 1st and goal for Niles. Watch the movement. And into the neutral zone they go. A couple of Falcons jump offside. Half the distance to the goal line, takes it to the 4. It's 1st and goal for Niles.
Well, funny how things work around there. It's down to about the 3-yard line.
Lake with Arriaga and Williams in the backfield. It's Williams on the handoff around the left side to the end zone. Did he get it? Touchdown, Niles! It's sponsored by Wings, etc. And with 4:35 to go, they'll ring the bell here at Viking Field.
Wow.
For the extra point, number 91, Mauricio Aguirre.
Now Mauricio Aguirre has a holder. As they'll attempt the extra point. He is 4 for 4 on these this year. The kick is up, and it is good. It just squirts over the crossbar. And with 4:35 to go in regulation, Niles takes a 7-0 lead.
And you get another look at the touchdown here, and look at him. Look for leverage. Goes outside. Can it cut back in? Yeah, he can. And momentum just enough to get over the goal line. And the touchdown as the bell rings. We'll tell you that the corner of US 6 and State Road 15 in New Paris is a store that is really convenient. The 6 and 15 convenience store opens Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. and they stay open until 10 p.m. Now that's convenient. Whether you need fuel for your vehicle or food and snacks for yourself, the 6 and 15 convenience store in New Paris has what you need to keep on going.
I want you to look at the blocking one more time on this play. Nolan Gerard and Isaac Arriaga throw the key blocks. Gerard is 58 here, and he's able to sustain his block here for a little while, give Williams some time to figure out where he wants to go. Arriaga just keeps pushing his guy to the outside. Williams runs in between them. I have the feeling we might be looking at that in the 46 film room on Twitter on Wednesday. We shall see. Still 4:35 to go.
59 yards and 7 plays for the scoring drive.
The kickoff rolls all the way down to the 2 before it's picked up by Tyshawn Knight. Knight tries to cut back and does. Knight weaving his way through people, finally brought down at the 28-yard line. And with 4:24 to go, the Fairfield Falcons have to go 72 yards to tie this one up.
Assurance Property Management and Realty is a full-service real estate office representing buyers, sellers, and investment property owners. They will work hard to maintain their commitment and strive to exceed expectations every step of the way. Call Shelley Tucker at Assurance Property Management and Realty. That number is 574-320-3300. That's 574-320-3300.
Fairfield a little late getting the play in with Nolan Sherrick. Zac Lantz brings him to the line of scrimmage. It's Shetler in motion. It's Shetler around the right side. It's Shetler going close to the first down marker. He may get it.
It's been a sure play for Fairfield, especially here in the second half. But you got to look at the clock every once in a while. Do you have time to go the 80 yards or so to get in the end zone?
Well, they have 3 timeouts remaining. And those plays don't chew up that much time. In fact, it was a first down sponsored by Battery Tech of Millersburg. And more movement along the line, a false start on Fairfield. Well, a penalty was huge on Niles' scoring drive. On a 4th down, it gave him half the distance to the goal line and a first down.
Jack, you wonder if there's this many penalties in the second half, and there have been 6 against Fairfield in the second half. Is this a sign that they are mentally a little bit tired out there in the field?
It's a long road trip for the Falcons, over an hour to get here.
Looking for a hero.
Shetler in motion again, but it's Kitson up the middle this time, and Connor Kitson staggers out to the 40-yard line. He got all the penalty yards back, plus a couple. 7 on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 8.
65 yards now for Kitson, 71 yards for Shetler.
Fairfield's been excellent at moving the ball from about the 20 to the Niles 30, but drives have bogged down in scoring position. Lantz has not been able to open up the passing game much tonight. Tyshawn Knight can't get away. He's caught on the end around that time. Great pursuit by Dawson Bruckner, who has played a heck of a game on defense for the Vikings. It'll be 3rd and 11, and time becoming a factor here for Fairfield.
Welty and Sons in New Paris can handle all your well drilling needs. They work on commercial as well as residential wells. When you don't have water, call Welty and Sons Well Drilling in New Paris, Indiana. 831-2538, 831-2538.
Lantz under center. Drops back, pressure coming, throws it down the field. Rodriguez can't get there. Well covered on the play by Terrace Frick. And it'll be 4th down and 12, and decision time now for Bob Miller and the Falcons. Do they punt it away and use their timeouts to stop the clock?
Well, it's just about, I don't want to say the only choice they have, but the game could end right here if you don't get the first down.
Lantz looking to the sideline, and Fairfield will use one of its timeouts right here. And it's sponsored by our friends at Assurance Property Management and Realty.
And it gives us a chance to thank Trent Hostetler. He's an insurance agent with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Goshen, Indiana. He can assist you with quality financial products and insurance that will enrich and protect your future and the future of your family. Trent is as proud a supporter as he can be of the Falcons of Fairfield, and he wants to give a special shout out to his son, Tim Hostetler. Call Trent Hostetler for all your insurance needs. That number is 534-2611. That's 534-2611.
Friday nights aren't just about high school football on TV. We have you covered on the radio, too, with Northwood football on Harvest 103.1 WHME. And next Friday night, Craig Wallen and the crew will be at Jim Andrews Field as the Wawasee Warriors pay a visit. Northern Lakes Conference action, Wawasee and Northwood, Friday night at 7 on your home of Northwood football, Harvest 103.1 WHME.
I'm sure Joe Sassano is telling his team, now look, they might pull something here. Do you work on a trick play or something in this situation? Hook and ladder, something like that? Let's see what they do.
4th and 12. Lantz with time, fires down the field, and it is incomplete. Broken up beautifully by Caden Cates, the cornerback, and Niles takes over on downs at the Fairfield 37. The Falcons with just 2 timeouts remaining. Cates and this Niles secondary has come up with some big plays tonight. The ball overthrown a little bit on Shetler, but he might have come down with it if it weren't for Cates.
All he could do to try to wrestle that thing back. That's great coverage. That's a great effort by both those young men. And oh, what a tough situation for Fairfield, but they got to be tackling that football right now.
So now Braden Lake and Niles will try to kill off the last 2:24 of this one and go to 2-1 on the year. Handoff, Arriaga with both hands wrapped around that football as he runs forward for 5. And Bob Miller encouraging his defense to do a little ball hawking right here. And a timeout will be taken by Fairfield. They let some time go off the clock before they took that second timeout, but they'll take it here, and it's sponsored by our friends at Assurance Property Management and Realty.
Folks, Imagineering Finishing Technologies is an Indiana company that impacts industries worldwide. Over half a century of quality and excellence has made us the industry knowledge source. We support the efforts of the young people in this game tonight. The band, the cheerleaders, and the players were working toward the same goal, and that's a great finish.
Well, next Friday night, our high school football coverage on TV 46 continues as we go into the Northern Indiana Conference. Venerable Don Bungie Field. New Prairie and Bremen, a pair of old Northern State Conference rivals, get together in the NIC. We'll see it Friday night at 11. Saturday morning at 9, Bo Hunt will be going down into your stopping grounds there in Bremen. Now, will you be able to sideline report for us in that game, or will you be too busy at the autograph table?
I'm sure I'll be able to do a little sideline reporting sometime.
At some point, thank you. Arriaga on the handoff, spinning. Did he get the first down? It looks like he may have, up at the 26-yard line.
It's going to be right at it. They might have to measure here.
And it is a first down for Niles with 1:59 to go, and Fairfield down to just 1 timeout.
I think our crew here tonight, our officiating crew's done a real nice job, Chuck.
And Tony Saviano says time to move the clock. Niles will keep it on the ground here, be assured. They have had a fumble on a handoff tonight, but they were able to pounce on it. Lake to Arriaga. About 3 or 4 on the play. Fairfield will use its last timeout right here with 1:34 to go. Timeout sponsored by Assurance Property Management and Realty.
Well, I love the way they've got the fresh legs and a fresh body, and Arriaga in here late in the ball game. He's giving them some pretty good speed, pretty good legs, but he's also hanging out of that football in big traffic. So nice group, Ball, Arriaga, Williams, and Farmer. Pretty good group of ball carriers for Niles. We've got a couple of quality quarterbacks. I tell you what, I was talking to Lake earlier. He's just a sophomore. So you need to get in the hallways and do a little recruiting, get some of your teammates out here, get some of your classmates out here and help build this program. There's some quality coaching going on out here, and the kids are having a lot of fun.
We mentioned Bremen and New Prairie next week. They both posted victories tonight. Bremen over Triton 35-10, and New Prairie handled Washington. The big story of the night happening down in Plymouth, at least for our Indiana viewers, is the Rockies made 7 turnovers and lost to Northridge by a count of 12-0. Here it's been a defensive struggle, but Niles leads it 7-0. And they'll have it 2nd and 10. Handoff, Arriaga keeps it again. Bounces out to the 15-yard line, and that should do it. A first down for Niles. It's sponsored by TCU. And the Vikings move the chains and likely move to 2-1 on the year as long as they don't fumble the football.
Arriaga's at 49 yards rushing on the night.
The Vikings can go into victory formation. They'll put Isaiah Johnson very deep just in case there is a fumble.
He's back at about the 30-yard line.
This is a Viking program that has really struggled in football over the years. In fact, in the last 30 seasons, they've only had 4 winning campaigns. But they're going to come out of this game tonight 2-1, and that man, Joe Sassano, doing a great job trying to rebuild a program here. He says it may not happen as quickly as he had hoped it would because he wanted to win yesterday. But he says eventually we will, and these kids believe in him, and it showed tonight. And give a lot of credit to a guy that wasn't here tonight, too. Their defensive coordinator, Jerry Schultz, out with a hiatal hernia. He obviously had a heck of a game plan for this defense.
He'll be feeling better tonight, that's for sure. Hope he gets a chance to watch the ball game. And look at the sportsmanship displayed by both these teams all night. What a couple of well-coached and classy organizations, Fairfield and Niles.
The Michigan schools continue to dominate the interstate battles between the two states. It's now 5-1 Michigan after Niles knocks off Fairfield tonight 7-0. And we'll tell you all about it on our post-game show, which comes your way after this on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
It was a defensive struggle in the city of Four Flags tonight, but the Niles Vikings prevail over Fairfield in an interstate battle by a count of 7-0. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray here at Viking Field, and partner, to say the defense is dominated would be an understatement, but what a job by Niles. They really persevered.
And it turned out that Bo Hunt was pretty much right on track. He said somebody's going to make a big play in this ball game. It's going to win it. One pass completion the ball game for Niles that led to the winning touchdown and the only touchdown in the game.
And the guy that scored that winning touchdown and also had a sterling defensive effort is standing by now with Bo Hunt.
As the fight song's going on, Tre Williams is here, our player of the game. Tre, touchdown, but more importantly, your defense really stepped up with you a part of that.
Yeah, we play our hardest every play, try to do the best of our ability, don't give up, 100% every down, every second, to the end.
A little bit of rivalry, Indiana-Michigan. You guys got it 2 in a row now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, they're a great team. We just got to play our hardest, expect the unexpected, and just keep playing.
Sassano's second year here coaching you guys. Just talk about what he's done to lead you guys.
He's done a great job. He changed the program around. We're winning. We're playing together. We're playing as best as we can. Just keep on coming to practice every day, working as hard as we can, doing our best.
Tre, congratulations on being our player of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
5'10", 225 pounds of football nasty. Very nice young man, but on the gridiron, he is a load to bring down. He scores the game-winning touchdown, and Tre Williams is our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game. Time now to look at our electrifying play of the game. It helped set up the game-winning touchdown. Came from Niles, and their only pass completion of the night.
He kept trying. They tried 7 times with this 44-yard completion. And I'll tell you what, Bell did a good job. Turned around, came back, and got to the far sidelines and did a nice job there with the pass completion.
So Javon Ball taking the pass from Cole Simpson for our electrifying play of the game. And our woe stop of the game, well, the defense has had a lot of them in this one, and especially on 4th down, but this was the one that kind of sealed the deal in this one for Niles.
And tell you what, Lance put it up in a good spot, the defense and the offensive player at the same time. And, you know, he could have pulled this one down. Would have been a great, great play for Fairfield, but it turned out the defense jumped up again. We had a lot of good defensive stops in this game.
Caden Cates comes up with that big pass breakup for Niles, and the Vikings now 2-1 on the year after winning 7-0. Fairfield falls to 1-3. Our thanks to our TV46 crew who helped bring you this one, led by the crazy one, the voice in my head, Dean Korsmo. It's a voice that never stops sometimes, and he was leading the crew that does such a great job week after week for us. A reminder, next Friday night, we'll be at Don Bungie Field in Bremen for a Northern Indiana Conference clash between New Prairie and Bremen. We hope you'll join us at Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget, for the best in high school sports coverage on Twitter, go to 46 Sports, where we have such popular features as the 46 Film Room, where we break down plays from our game the week before. Now, for my partners, the Indiana Football Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt. They're not crying tonight, though, despite the fact the Indiana team lost. Chuck Fraby saying thanks for watching, and once again the final, Niles 7, Fairfield nothing. So long from the city of Four Flags.